Christina with the Gorgeous Geeks, and I'm here today to talk about X-Men Destiny, which was a fun game, actually. The game is centered around 3 new mutants who are at a rally, and there is an attack, and people believe that it's Magneto who starts it, but you don't figure out if he's behind it or if someone else is behind it until later in the game. You can choose from 3 different characters. There's 2 guys and a girl. I chose the girl at first. And the powers, not only can you choose from 3 different characters, but you can choose from 3 different powers. So that also made it interesting as well. Because the game itself isn't that long. I beat it in a day, which when you take so many hours out of the day, it's not like it was like 2 hours or anything like that. It was a couple hours, but I still kind of like my RPGs to range a little bit longer. But the thing about this game is that there's so many choices that you have to go back and replay it if you want to see how everything can play out, if you want to see all the benefits to the different powers and how they can evolve, then you really need to go through the game more than once. So that's the thing that kind of makes it worth playing over and over again. But the interesting thing about the gameplay is that you can either become an X-Men at the end or you can become part of the Brotherhood. So I decided to do both. The first time I became an X-Men, second time I became a member of the Brotherhood, and I gotta say I felt kind of dirty. It's like, oh no, I'm evil. Evil with conviction. But it was kind of weird for me. I felt kind of conflicted, but I wanted to know what would happen if I joined the Brotherhood, so that's what I did. All 3 characters are interesting. I can't remember the name of the other 2 male characters, but one of them is a purifier's son, and his father died, and so he came to the rally to attack mutants. Or I don't know if he was literally going to attack mutants, but he brought a weapon with him, like he was going to, and he was ready for it. But during the game, he constantly has his father's words playing through his head. So he's dealing with all of this inner conflict of, I'm a purifier, but I'm a mutant, and my powers randomly acted up. And now I have to decide, am I going to accept this, which he has a hard time accepting it, and then he has the trial of, am I going to stand for the X-Men who want to protect mutants and humans, or am I going to completely betray all of my humanity, or what I thought it was, and become a member of the Brotherhood? So his story was interesting, or Amy. Her story was interesting because her father sent her to America to protect her. You got the sense that he knew more than what she knew that he did. And so she kind of feels abandoned because she thought he was going to come with her, but she ended up being sent alone, and she just came to the rally, and then her powers acted up, and she starts fighting to protect humans or protect mutants, and then eventually she has to make her decision, whatever you decide. And then the other character isn't as interesting, but he's funny because he sees Emma and he makes a comment about her boobs, and he's just like a jock, and he doesn't know much about politics, and he just happened to be around at the rally, and then he gets involved in the story. Now, one thing about the story that I found kind of odd was the fact that all this was happening and I just got my powers, and they would send me on these missions, these important missions that I needed to succeed in, or everyone was going to be screwed royally. And no one ever took time out to train me, and like Emma's talking in my head for a good chunk of the game, giving me advice, and getting advice from members of the Brotherhood, members of the X-Men, and going on these missions and things like that, but it's not like a training session. And I kind of missed stuff from old X-Men games, when you'd be able to go through the mansion, and you go in the danger room, and you get training, and walk around the school, and stuff like that. In this timeline of the game, this is after, in the comic books, when they've moved to San Francisco, So there is no mansion or place like that for me to go out and train right there. So I understand that, but mentally I'm just like, how come ain't nobody helping me? I mean, people do show up and help, but it's like, I need help to learn my powers. And you're just sending me on these really super dangerous missions, and thank goodness my powers are popping up at convenient times. And I just happen to know how to work them. And I just happen to be able to shield myself from telepathy or and whatnot. So, or mind control rather. So, I especially felt that way when I had to fight a boss that was really powerful. And I'm just like, where did everybody else go? Wasn't the whole X-Men behind me a second ago? And I gotta fight this giant monster by myself. Which, I mean, it should be difficult for a video game because you want to eventually beat this person and move on and be tested. Which, that was a problem I did have with this game. The hardest boss that I fought was probably midway through instead of at the end. It's not my favorite X-Men game. I have played it like, maybe, I've beaten it 3 times now. I will beat it with all the characters, with all the powers. I've experienced all the powers, but I will beat it with all of the characters, with all of the powers, being good and bad, because I'm curious. I'm the type of person who wants to hear all the dialogue from whatever possibility. I want to seek out the entire game. So it's good in that sense, but I do wish it was longer. I recommend it, but there are a lot of video games coming out right around this time. Like, if you're tight on money, I think maybe I'd save it for Batman, the Arkham game coming out, which I will be playing. But if you got some money to spare and you're looking for something to blow your time on, get X-Men Destiny and play it. It is a fun game. I just wish it was longer, but there is more stuff to do. And the cutscenes look good. But I don't like how some of the characters look. Cyclops looks kind of gross to me. Gambit looks, I'm going to downright say, and feel kind of embarrassed and say sexy. But he does, those graphics do look good. Sometimes it looks so real, it's kind of like Cyclops look kind of just, I don't know, pimply faced or something. And some of the voices I really liked. Some of the voices I didn't like. But I liked the story. It was interesting. But I do miss old X-Men games. And I'm just feeling the loss of the mansion and Professor Xavier and so on and so forth. And I do kind of wish that I could have been an actual X-Men member. But it was a fun game. And I recommend it. But anyway, if you enjoy any of the music, let's like at the beginning of this video, or our TV reviews or movie reviews, or our regular Gorgeous Geek discussion show, you can go to www.thegorgeousgeeks.com, visit our store, and you can purchase it for $1, and we will email it to you within 24 hours if that's something you'd like to have. And you can also visit our store for other merchandise. But check this game out. X-Men Destiny. Fun game. But I'm Christina, signing off.